Introduction to the Year of the Opposite. What is the Year of the Opposite? What have I achieved in my Year of the Opposite? This is your starting guide to the Year of the Opposite. Let's start with some links that will help you learn more about this project/newsletter and dive into the content. Here are some links. Why did I start my Year of the Opposite? How to start your own Year of the Opposite, a step-by-step guide to start your own Year of the Opposite and the results from my first Year of the Opposite. How I cured my depression in 5 months by living a Year of the Opposite. Why you should start journaling nightly and how to be more grateful. How I lost 62 pounds and built a habit of working out every day by living a Year of the Opposite. Going from not being able to run a half mile to running 1,000 miles in 1 year. And clearing up the rumors, the real story of how Matthew Hill from Liquid Web died. So what is the Year of the Opposite? The Year of the Opposite is a blog and podcast where I share my personal journey of transformation in the face of overwhelming grief and depression. At the age of 41, I lost 3 close friends within just 5 months, which sent me spiraling into a deep depression. Despite my somewhat successful career and seemingly great life, I struggled to find purpose and happiness. Inspired by Admiral William H. McRaven's commencement speech and the Seinfeld episode, The Opposite, I decided to make small changes in my life, starting with waking up early and making the bed every day. This small change snowballed into my decision to embrace a Year of the Opposite, challenging myself to step out of my comfort zone and do the opposite of what I have done before. I started with the simple act of waking up early and making my bed, but I enjoyed it so much I kept challenging myself with new interesting challenges that were the opposite of what I had traditionally done in my life. The results were astounding, and they happened very quickly. Through this journey, I overcame depression, became a better father and husband, transformed my health, fixed all my lifestyle-induced ailments, and discovered newfound confidence and purpose. On this newsletter and podcast, I share how I did it and provide resources so that you can do it too. Why should you subscribe to the Year of the Opposite? Well, 1, it's free, and you'll put a huge smile on my face. 2, you'll get practical tips that are simple to improve your life, lose weight, live longer, and be happier. 3, I'll share positive stories about the world that the news and media ignores. I love this quote. If you pay attention to the news, you'd think the world is getting worse. If you study history, you know the world is getting better. And number 4, if you enjoy it, I hope you'll support my endeavor by voluntarily becoming a paid subscriber. It means the world to me, and it keeps me going. So now, let's cover the achievements that I've made in my Year of the Opposite. First, I set out to improve my health. After the sale of Liquid Web, my poor lifestyle choices resulted in my health to deteriorate. I vowed to resolve all my medical conditions in my Year of the Opposite. I lost 62 pounds. I got off all my medications, cured hyperlipidemia, which is high cholesterol, cured hypertriglyceridemia, which is high triglycerides, cured my impaired fasting glucose, and cured my rosacea. I raised my VO2 max to above average from below average, and I cut my ASCVD risk of having a heart attack in 10 years from 16% down to 2%. I wanted better mental clarity and discipline. After the sale of Liquid Web and a substantial financial windfall, I became undisciplined and neglected my health. I ballooned to nearly 270 pounds and acquired a bunch of diseases caused by my lifestyle. To fix this, I gave up alcohol and marijuana. I didn't pay attention to the news and I ignored politics. I started to meditate. Every night I rated my satisfaction with my life, work, and family. I kept a daily journal every night. I woke up early. And I cured my grief and depression as much as one can do. I wanted to set out to exercise and challenge my body. Exercise is the best medicine for physical health and mental health and longevity in my book. I set out to become a healthy person because I was not a healthy person before this change. Some of the challenges. I did 14 minutes in a 41-degree cold plunge on July 2023. I became a runner I ran 1,000 miles in 365 days, a mile in under 7 minutes, ran 15 miles nonstop, ran 7 miles barefoot, ran 1 mile backwards, and I completed my first competitive races, an 8K and a 5K. I learned how to hold my breath for 2 minutes and 46 seconds. I swam 1 mile across a lake. I regularly use the sauna. I can do 5 pull-ups unassisted now. And I rode a bike for 20 miles. Next, I wanted to repair my neglected physical image. Also, after the sale of Liquid Web, I adopted a slovenly image, refusing to shave, comb my hair, and I regularly wore sweatsuits. In my year of the opposite, I improved my image. I lost 62 pounds, I dressed better and did my hair, I resolved my rosacea, and I wore a mustache, but some could say that wasn't exactly an improvement. I took up new hobbies. For most of my life, I neglected hobbies and focused too much on work. In my year of the opposite, I changed that. I got a concealed carry pistol permit. I started slalom water skiing. I started playing pickleball. I went antiquing. I started playing golf. I started practicing archery. I tracked a deer and recovered it. I tried to foil surf. I'm still not very good. And I went fishing for walleye. Nutrition was something that I was bad at. My diet was horrendous, and I was a very picky eater. I would regularly consume 50 ounces of soda, ice cream, and beer as a routine. In my year of the opposite, I fixed my diet and broadened my horizons to try any food I was offered. I also had a very low tolerance for spicy food, so I set out to change that. In my year of the opposite, I gave up pop. I tried a 3-day water-only fast. I decided to eat everything, including things that I hated like tomatoes, mushrooms, yogurt. And I started spice training to improve my tolerance of hot spices. I've completed successfully the Blazing Wing Challenge and the Hot One Challenge. I wanted to be more social and be more active in the community. The only thing I hated more than meetings was networking. So in my year of the opposite, I decided to be more social and active in the community. I did a ride-along with the Lansing Police Department. I joined the Lansing Rotary and became a Rotarian. I joined the Ellie's Place Board of Directors. Joined a monthly CEO peer networking group. I attended a 3-day meditation retreat twice. I scheduled meetings every week, went to our family cabin more frequently, made a rule to say yes to almost all invitations. I started a newsletter and podcast to write and publish my writing every week. I donated thousands of dollars with my business partner, Matthew Gillett, to help the community through my business, Saddleback Barbecue. We provided thousands of free meals to students and community members that needed help during the pandemic and afterwards. We paid off the student lunch debt and library debt at multiple school districts. We helped the victims of fires, tornadoes, and floods. And we rescued small businesses that were in jeopardy of going out of business during the pandemic. Finally, I wanted to do some spiritual exploration. I was raised Catholic but became an atheist around the age of 12. As a part of my year of the opposite, I explored religion and began attending church. I attend church almost weekly. I read the Stoic philosophers, and I attended a Jewish synagogue. In the article, I've included some before and after pictures and videos so you can see my physical transformation. The other thing that I intend to do with the year of the opposite is to provide interviews with people that I find fascinating. So far, I've done 2. The first one was about Claude McCollum. Claude McCollum was wrongfully convicted, and I interviewed Judge Hugh Clark Jr. He was the man that was able to exonerate him from prison. This is about the murder of an LCC professor in 2005 that sends the wrong man to jail. The uncaught murderer goes on to kill 5 more while the wrong man is in prison. My interview is with the Honorable Judge Hugh Clark Jr. My second interview is a podcast interview with Michelle Rogers. She survived the unthinkable. Michelle Rogers on Matthew Terry's brutality and the deadly consequences of his early release. My former coworker, Matthew Terry, stabbed her 7 times, yet somehow Michigan let him out of prison after only 3 years. Tragically, within 5 months of his release, he killed his new girlfriend. I interview the survivor of his first attack, Michelle Rogers, and her strength is incredible and inspiring. Where can you find Year of the Opposite, and how do you subscribe? You can find the Year of the Opposite on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, RSS, email, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you very much, and I think you will enjoy the Year of the Opposite.